So now that we know how to navigate our Painter documents using the Navigator palette, as well as these various navigational tools on our toolbar, I want to talk a little bit more about our properties bar, and particularly how it affects our brush tool and the various different paintbrushes that we could be using with the brush tool. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make sure that I select from the airbrushes category the Digital Soft Velocity Airbrush. I just have a sort of purplish color chosen here. It really doesn't matter which color you choose. That's not really all that important at this point. Now I just want to make a mark quickly to show you what that looks like. So it's a very nice sort of Photoshop-y looking airbrush. I'm going to go ahead and undo that by hitting Control Z. And now what I want to look at here is constraining. So let's say I want to make a straight line stroke. See how I'm not able to make a straight line stroke here. We can force the program to help us with making straight line strokes. And I'll just go ahead and undo that. The easiest way that we can do this, and this is actually very similar to the way the Photoshop works, is we can simply hold down the Shift key and then make our mark. And as we do, you can see that I can go up and down, and I'm going to be constrained to going straight up and down. Now if I hold down Shift and go from left to right, you can see I'm constrained to go in a straight line, left and right. If I hold down Shift, I can also go at 45-degree angles and be constrained in both directions, like so. So that's one form of constraining, and let me just go to Select All, select Hide Marquee, and then Edit, Clear to get rid of that. Now I want to talk to you about another form of constraining. You see up here at the top that we have several icons. The first icon here, which is really important, is if you ever make any changes to your brush and you want to get back to your original default brush, click this Reset Tool icon and that will automatically take your brush settings back to the default variant. The next icon is the freehand stroke, and this is what you'll see most of the time when you're painting, and that allows us to move in whatever direction we want without any kind of constraining. The next icon here is the straight line strokes. Now, this is going to move in kind of a different way. The way that this starts here is that we're going to click, and that's going to define a beginning point. And then we're going to click again, and that's going to define an end point. Now, you see how we've got this going on here? Well, the reason why is because these straight line strokes do not respect pressure, meaning that we're going to end up with a constant pressure here, and that's not going to work so good with something like an airbrush that requires pressure in order to know what it is that we're doing with it. So instead of doing something like that, let's go ahead and instead pick something like our gouache, and I have a flat weight stroke in here, and this flat weight stroke is not going to be bothered by any kind of lack of pressure, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and first do a freehand with it, and I'll just do a simple freehand like that, Control Z, and now I'm going to do a straight line. I'm going to click, and I'm going to click, and you can see now that we get a nice straight line stroke. Now if I click again, it's going to continue connecting where I'm clicking, and I can basically just keep on doing that. At any point I want to, I can simply hit Enter on the keyboard, and that will close out this polygon, because that's effectively what this has been doing. It's been defining a polygon shape. The interesting thing is that we don't always have to enter out. There's other ways that we could get out of that, and let me just go ahead and hold down the spacebar and move over. What we can do is we can click once and then click again for our first line. Let's say that's all we wanted to make was one line. Now we can come over here and we can click on the freehand strokes tool, and that will take us out of that, and we don't need to finish that polygon. We can also, while we're still in our straight line stroke icon here, we can click and then click and simply hit the V key on our keyboard, and that will start us over so that we can click and hit V again, click and hit V again. And I could even do a number of segments like that and then hit V again, and that will start me over. So you can see how this works. Now again, it's important to bear in mind that this does not respect pressure. So if you're using a brush that requires pressure to show anything, you're either going to get full pressure or you're going to get no pressure, and that may not be the look that you're looking for. So make sure that you're using this particular tool with brushes that are designed to give you a particular type of stroke regardless of pressure. And that's exactly what this flat weight stroke brush does, which is the reason why I put it there.